If I could go back to day one of my transition, I would do it differently. Not because I regret it or because I'm unhappy, but because I spent so much time, energy, and effort doing things in the wrong order. I rushed things that needed patience, obsessed over things that didn't matter, and ignored and put off things that could have changed my life way sooner. Nobody hands you a roadmap when you first start transitioning. Although that would be pretty nice, wouldn't it? You're kind of just thrown into the deep end. Hormone, laser, surgeries, new friendships, things just change day to day, it seems like. And when you're in it, everything kind of feels urgent. But HRT doesn't happen overnight. We don't change overnight. It takes many, many years. And as you can see, I look a lot different after 3.5 years. So in episode 2 of Off Script, a trans life podcast, I want to tell you what I would do differently if I started over. What actually matters, what can wait, and what will change the experience of your transition. Because transitioning isn't just about looking different. It's about feeling like you can finally just exist as yourself. Real quick, if you are new here, every Monday I put out a new video. I alternate between this podcast style and doing more of like a lifestyle video. The podcast is more about being trans and how it has shaped my life and how maybe my experience might help you. And my other videos are more about like me rock climbing, photography, and just me as a human. So if you enjoy these, please subscribe to my YouTube. I appreciate it so much. I do my best to reply to as many comments as I can. And I hope you enjoy this video or audio if you're listening to it on your favorite podcast platform. So to start it off, these are in no particular order besides for this one right here. Number 1, the most important, I believe, is start laser hair removal or electrolysis. As you can tell, I have very, very blonde, like very light hair, and it has been a nightmare for me. 3.5 years in, and I still have to shave every day, and there is nothing more dysphoric than waking up in the morning and having to shave your face as a woman. It's the worst. It's awful. Like, nobody wants to do that. I know it can be expensive. HRT and transitioning in general is expensive, and we all know that when we come into it. And if you can't afford it, that's completely understandable. If you have dark hair, like very dark hair, don't even worry about electrolysis. You honestly have the best starting position. Laser will work so well for you. You will get rid of that hair so fast because it's dark and it will be so easy to grab. Unless you have dark skin, then you might need to do electrolysis. But if you have light skin and dark hair and there's all that contrast and you cannot afford to go do laser, go on Amazon and get one of those little IPL lasers. I know they're not like the best thing in the world, but you can get one for like $150, and honestly, it will be life-changing for you. You will be able to get rid of so much facial hair that you will feel so much better. Now, if you're like me, you have to do electrolysis. And I have done a year of electrolysis and I am not even remotely close to having my hair gone. It is like, after a year, we're still working on my neck. It's taking forever. I wish I would have started so much sooner. Started right away. I promise you there will be nothing better feeling than waking up and not having to think about shaving before you do your makeup, not having like little marks on your neck, not having like 5 o'clock shadow. It is the best thing you can do for yourself. Number 2, which I do think is pretty high up on the list, even though these are not in particular order, is weight distribution and weight cycling. If you start hormones and you just stay the same weight, you don't lose weight, you don't put on weight, you're not going to see a lot of difference. You will see difference, don't get me wrong. But the way estrogen works is that your fat is going to distribute to new parts of your body. So when you put on weight and you put on fat, it will go to like your hips and your breasts and your cheekbones and all these areas that it would normally be in a woman versus in a man, it going to like your belly area. So something I have actually done since the beginning of my transition is weight cycle. In the wintertime, I'll put on 20-30 pounds, and in the summertime, I will take it off. And if you have a good amount of weight on you when you first start your transition, losing that weight will shed that man weight, and then putting on new weight will go to the correct areas. I cannot stress enough how important this is. And if you're a really, really tiny, skinny girl, I highly, highly recommend putting on some weight because that's going to fill in all those feminine areas. I know it can be scary to put on weight, it can be scary to lose weight, but it is how our body redistributes that weight and makes us look feminine. It's why I look so different every single year. Every year I look so much more feminine because I weight cycle. In the wintertime I put on that weight, in the summertime I take it off. And it goes to all the right areas, you know? Now, this does not mean go out and eat Taco Bell and McDonald's all winter and then in the summertime starve yourself. That's not what I mean. I eat tons of salads and avocados, and I'm very good about the food I eat. It's just in the wintertime, I eat more of it. And in the wintertime, I'm a little bit more lazy. I don't go to the gym as often because it's cold and it's hard to leave the house. So I naturally put on a little bit more weight because of it just being wintertime and not being as active. And in the summertime, I will go back to eating my normal amount of calories, not less calories, it's my normal amount, and I'm a lot more active. So I lose that weight so much easier. And this goes really, really, really far when it comes to feminizing your face. The fat pads in your face, like your cheeks and like the different areas, your body needs that fat to feminize. Which leads me into part 3, in that rushing into surgeries might be detrimental. I have not had any female feminization surgeries. I've had no surgeries whatsoever, nothing. This is all just hormones. And if you've seen what I used to look like, again, right here, I think that is a testament to say that you should wait and not do any surgeries right off the jump. Because if you would have seen me before, you'd be like, oh, you're gonna need surgery to look pretty. Your face and your body is going to change drastically on HRT. Your skin is going to thin and look so much softer. Your face is going to change every single year, 3.5 years in, and my face is still changing. How my face looked last January versus now is so different. I get comments all the time, they're like, oh, have you had like a chin surgery or no surgery? I'm like, nope. Nothing. This is just how my face has changed over these years with HRT. Even your brows will soften, like your brow line, that will soften because you do have fat in this area. So I know that's a big, area that trans women struggle with is like the brow ridge. Surgery should help refine your look, not replace it. And to lump into this one, I'm gonna throw in breast augmentation. Breast development can take 3 to 5 years to start working. Some people might get lucky and they might have it in the first year, but it can take time. Mine personally took 3 years to start developing. I did not have these at all at the start of the year. Start of the year, I wore like a double A cup. HRT is a slow biological process, not a cosmetic procedure. And don't rush to take progesterone. I know it can be so excited. We know what the effects of progesterone and how it makes us feel. We all know it. However, if you rush into it, your breast will grow too fast and the little bulb in there will not develop correctly. It's really hard to hear, but you should wait 2 years before you start progesterone because you need to let your breast kind of like, there's a little button there and it's like this little hard seed and it kind of like spreads over time. So kind of gotta wait for like that pain to go away. And I know it's a pain to wait because progesterone is amazing, but me waiting 2-3 years to start progesterone is why I have the breasts I have. Because I tried starting it at 3 months and they grew too fast, like the bud, and I got no breast growth because of it. So I cannot stress enough, wait 2 years to start progesterone. This is not medical advice. This is just what my doctor says. I have doctor powers, by the way. That might be controversial, but I look the way I look and he's my doctor and I'm very happy. Okay, enough about waiting and all that stuff. Back to things you can do when you first start. Number 4 is take care of your hair. I have a whole video in my profile that goes over what I do to have the hair that I have. But if you are known for having hair loss, or if you're struggling with hair at all your life, start dutasteride and minoxidil. A lot of people talk about how they like oral minoxidil. Personally, I do topical. If you want to know more information about this, you can find the video in my profile. but be proactive about it. You're going to love having luscious, nice hair. And if you're like me, when you first started and you're bald, you will probably wear wigs for a long time. So taking care of your hair underneath that wig is really important. But I won't get too much into this one because I do have a video in my profile, and my first podcast video is about hair and what I did to regrow mine. Number 5 is to let unsupportive people go. I know one of the scariest things that happens when you transition is being scared of losing your friends and your family. But honestly, the people who are not supportive and are judging are not the people you want in your life. Now, I was very lucky when I transitioned that everybody was supportive of me, besides for my girlfriend's parents at the time. They would not let me anywhere near them. They're like, you better not even come to our city. Like, they were insane about it. They were like, do not come anywhere near us. And that sucked because I was very close with them. And I've lost some really good friends because of it too. However, the friends I have made since then are so much better. I have created entire communities and made friends that feel like family to me now. My roommate is my best friend, and I would have never met her pre-transition. You will make new friends, you will build a chosen family, and you will find support in people that you would have never expected. And some of your friends who you thought may be scary to tell may end up being the most supportive. I was so worried that my brother was not going to be supportive of me, and he's been my biggest supporter. And he drives a big pickup truck and, shoots guns and all that stuff. And he's honestly one of my biggest supporters. So protect your emotional bandwidth and cut out the people who do not support you. Number 6 is go to therapy. Transitioning unlocks so many emotions. I cannot tell you how important this is. Pre-transition, I could count in the 31 years of existing as a man, I cried maybe 5 times max. And I think 3 of those were from an animal dying. As a woman, I think I've cried 5 times this week alone. And it's not always bad. Sometimes it's just a great moment. Sometimes you're out to see a movie and you're like, oh my God, this is a really sad emotional scene, and you start crying because it's so beautiful. Or your partner holds you on their chest and they tell you how much they love you and how important you are to them, and you start crying because you're happy. You're going to become more vulnerable, and you're going to need to process your past emotions and things that you have suppressed. Personally, I have disassociated so much with who that person used to be that when I talk to my friends or family or like my best friend, we refer to that person as like that dead name, like that is them. That's not me. I'm like, hey, remember when you dated that person? And they're like, yeah. Or like, hey, remember, that person? Like, that's not me. That is like literally a different person. I've changed so much. And because I've changed so much and I've disassociated so much, I've had memory loss. I've actually lost memory from whoever that person was, because it's not me. I don't associate with them. And I need to go to therapy for that. I talk to my therapist about that. And I talk to my therapist about all these big emotions and feelings I have. There's grief, there's euphoria, there's identity restructure. There's just so much that you're going to feel. It's really important to have someone that you can vent to that's not just like your friends and family that will help you out with this. And if I was you, I would look online for like queer-friendly or a type of therapist that fits what you're looking for. I wanted a therapist that was queer, that helped with anxiety, which is something I deal with. And I wanted someone who's good with jealousy, which is something I have also dealt with. And my therapist is amazing. She's a lesbian woman and she drives a big old pickup truck and she's super cool. I love her. She's fantastic. Also, my best friend and the girl I dated for 5 years is also a therapist, so I cannot recommend it enough. And number 7, which I think ties into therapy, transitioning is a lot about your internal alignment and not just your looks. If I could start transitioning right now and I had to pick whether I'm going to look like this in 3 years or I get to feel the way I feel inside, I would pick how I feel. The best way to explain it is pre-transition was like living in black and white and recording the audio with a potato. And now everything is so vivid and colorful. It's like everything's in like 4K quality, and there's like Dolby Atmos surround sound, and it's just like so vivid and like real, and I can just feel everything so much more. Like just the way things feel when you touch it. Like everything is so much better. Just looking at the sky makes me so happy. Seeing the clouds and animals and flowers and like smelling coffee, like all of it brings me so much joy and euphoria that I never experienced pre-transition. I never had any of these emotions or feelings before. I would have never in a million years stopped in front of the coffee shop and just smelt the coffee. As a guy, I would have never did that, not once. Now I walk past the coffee shop, I'm like, oh my God, that smells so good. And I'll go into the coffee shop and I'll see the barista and I'll be like, hi, how's it going? And I'll have a big smile on my face and I'll have a big smile on their face. And I'm like, oh my God, I love your nose piercing. I'm like, thank you. And it strikes up a conversation and I sip that coffee. I'm like, this is so good. And they're like, thank you. And it's just like this whole experience. Just that one little interaction right there is better than the entire 31 years of existing as a man and having none of those emotions or feelings. I would have walked into that coffee shop as a guy, got my black coffee, walked out, would have never thought once of anything else. I have so many more emotions and feelings that I never knew I even had. A great example is, as a guy, I never wanted children. And I always thought I didn't want children. And when I met my current partner, she told me that she really wanted children. And I told her, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm willing to listen and learn because it's important to. And there was a day that I was standing in her doorway and I was holding something like you would a baby. And she told me, Nicole, you're going to make such a wonderful mother one day. And I broke down crying. I just started crying so hard. Emotions I didn't know I had. I didn't know they even existed. She brought out a part of me that's been locked away my entire life that I never even knew existed. And now I'm so excited to adopt a little kid with her one day and have a family and pick them up from school and go get ice cream afterwards and play board games and build, blanket forts. It makes me so excited, and it's something I never thought I would ever have. I never knew I had those emotions and feelings inside of me. So remember that your transition is not just how you look, it's how you feel inside. Sorry, I touched the microphone. Hopefully it didn't mess up the audio. So just remember that how you feel inside is what's most important. And this brings me to number 8. These all kind of tie in together in each way, Number 8 is to not compare yourself to other women who are transitioning. Everyone's journey is so different and we cannot compare ourselves. When I first started, I really, really loved Icky. Finn, Icky, Ashley. I loved her and she was my inspiration for when I first started transitioning. And sure, it helped me get through my early transition, but I eventually found my own style and what I want to be. And now I have influenced other people. But how quickly my transition has worked and how much my transition has done in my time frame is different for everybody. I'm 35 years old. I am very lucky. I cannot express enough how lucky and grateful I am that my transition is the way it has been, because 35 is quite older and a lot of women are really scared to transition at this age because they feel like they won't have any results. And I have results, but that may not be true for everybody. So you cannot compare yourself to other people's transitions. It could take different amounts of times, different amount of so many different things. Genetics, age, weight, hormone levels, the type of dosage you take, whether you do pills, injection, patches, whether you're on progesterone, all these different things play such a huge role in transitioning. So do not compare yourself to other people. You can have inspiration, that is great, but don't get disappointed if your timeline isn't the same as someone else's timeline. We are all beautiful in our own way and we all have our own path and journey to get to where we're going. Which is why the last thing I said is so important. How you feel on the inside is so, so important. because you will eventually get to the way you want to look in time. And to end this one, comparison fuels dysphoria. And dysphoria is the worst thing as a trans woman. Number 9, which I feel I wish I would have did, and I've not done at all actually, is to voice train. I have done 0 voice training over my 3.5 years. However, my voice has gotten better, but I wish I would have did proper voice training. I wish I would have went and talked to someone who could help me understand resonance and all these different things. So I don't know what any of that means. This is the only thing I have done over my 3.5 years for voice training is to just talk in a higher pitch. Anytime I was alone, I'd go, oh, hi, how, blah, blah, blah. And I would just speak in this really high pitch. And I would just do that constantly when I was by myself. And like whenever I wasn't around people, I would just always talk in like this higher octave or whatever. And over the years, it's worked for me. But I really, really wish I would have did some kind of voice training because I'm so insecure about my voice even to this day. And I still think about doing voice training sometimes, but I have so many other things I need to complete first. And I think my voice is good enough at this point where I don't need to focus on it as much as I do other things. But also the big thing about voice training and doing it early on is that it will get rid of old speaking habits. And one of the ways that we get misgendered and quote unquote clocked, hate using that term, is our patterns and how we speak and how we present ourselves. The way I speak and the way I enunciate and use my words is very feminine, and it is just something I picked up over the years. But doing voice training and having someone that works with you can really expedite that and make you feel a lot better about yourself. Because I know personally, a lot of times when I get misgendered, it's because when I start talking. If I don't talk, nobody ever thinks anything of it. But the second I start speaking is usually when it happens. And that's really painful. And honestly, it can reduce dysphoria faster than appearance can. There's nothing better than hearing your voice and it being the voice that you want to hear, you know? And this brings me to number 10, which is something I have done since the beginning. And if I could start over, I would continue to do this. It is to document your journey. When I first started, I started a TikTok channel. And from day 1 until a month ago, RIP TikTok in America, I have documented my entire journey, and I can go back and look at all those photos, all those videos of me transitioning. I can see the changes every single year. Month to month, I can honestly see changes. But looking back a year ago and a year before that, it helps. But sometimes I wake it up and I'm like, have I really changed that much? Do I really look that different? And I'll look at photos from like even just 6 months ago and I'm like, oh my God, like I look so much better than I did even a year ago. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to document these changes. And also, it'll make you so much happier to look back and have memories as a woman. Because when I think about like, oh, I went on vacation in Toronto and I have these photos, it was of me as a guy, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, this kind of sours it. So whenever I go do something and I go experience something, I go to Chicago or like I go explore somewhere, I take photos of myself in those locations and I'm like, oh wow, that's me there. That's me experiencing that. And that feels really, really good. And you should even journal your mental shifts. That's something I started doing recently, is writing down each day how I feel and how my hormones are. And personally, I know the day after my injection, I'm always a little bit pissy. My girlfriend calls it me pissing. So post-injection syndrome, PIS. And it's just, I'm a little bit moody the day after my injection. But you're probably not going to notice changes daily. So having photos each month to look back on is really helpful. It really helps when dysphoria is distorting your perception of who you are. If I could start over, I wouldn't change that I transitioned. I would change how I approached it. I would slow down. I would start the long-term things earlier. I would stop trying to become some version of womanhood that I thought I had to be to appease society. And most importantly, I would trust the process. Transitioning isn't a race. It's not a checklist. It's not surgery first, weight first, or boobs first. It's alignment. It's slowly watching your outside catch up to who you feel on the inside. And if you're at the beginning of your transition right now, overwhelmed, impatient, scared, and worried that you're doing it wrong. You're not. And even if you don't do these 10 things, you will still get to where you need to be in time. The person you're becoming is already there. Just give her time to breathe. So to wrap this up, if this video or podcast has helped you, or if you were somewhere in your transition and would have done things differently, leave them in the comments because I do my best to read all of them. And if you're following my journey in real time, please make sure you subscribe because we're just getting started and I have so much more content and so much more things to talk about. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It helps grow my channel and I appreciate you all so much. We are already at 1,000 subscribers basically, and I cannot thank you so much for being here with me on this journey. I love you all and I hope you have a wonderful transition and journey, and I will see you in the next video.